All right, we are very fortunate to be joined right now by Cathy McMorris Rodgers, Congresswoman from the great state of Washington, member of the Republican leadership here in the House. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you.
Okay, let's start right with what the president had to say. He's making fun of you guys. He's saying you're voting on, whether or not to keep "In God We Trust" as the motto of the country, and other kind of trivial matters. You do a lot of naming of post offices around here. What do you say to the president's criticism?
I would say the president is the one that's on the campaign trail. He needs to get back to D.C. and help us do the job here of getting the economy going. The House of Representatives has taken action the last 3 weeks on portions of his jobs bill, issues that he brought up in his jobs bill and said that we needed to be taking action on. And this is the third week in a row. This week we're focused on small business lending, opening up the lines of credit to those small business owners that need credit and are having a tough time getting loans. Last week we were focused on an issue of 3% holdings. The week before we passed the free trade agreements. We are looking for those areas of common ground, opportunities to work with the president to actually move forward, get this economy going, and get Americans back to work.
But isn't there a disconnect here? I mean, when you see there's such urgency out there, there's such a, we had 9% plus unemployment, such anger with Washington and frustration with the economy, and there's no real discussion of anything here in the House or the Senate of bills that can actually pass. I mean, you guys are passing things that have no chance in the Senate. They're not even passing anything over in the Senate. I mean, what's your sense?
I just listed some bills that are going to pass, hopefully pass the Senate. The free trade agreements are on the president's desk, 3% holding. We had the president say, yes, this is important, I'll support it. Now the Senate is making some changes. The House has passed 15 jobs bills that are over in the Senate.
How many of those do you think will pass the Senate?
Well, I would like to see them have the debate and actually start getting something through the Senate. It's very frustrating to us that the Senate is doing next to nothing. We need the Senate to get to work. We need the president to come back from the campaign trail and get to work. This is the time. Americans are fed up with the politics of party politics. They want us to be here, the give and take between the parties, and actually move legislation forward. And it's very difficult from the House perspective when the Senate isn't doing anything.
Devin?
Congresswoman, I want to ask you about some breaking news out of the House Energy and Commerce Committee this morning. They've subpoenaed now formally the White House documents related to the Solyndra loan. In fact, one member said wanted to go after the messages on the president's BlackBerry. Wanted to get your reaction to that and why, if you do, think this is so important.
Well, it's important because we are talking about millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars that were given to one company. And we believe that it's very important that we know how that decision was made, whether or not there was some relationship or what role the administration played and the White House played in actually authorizing that line of credit to a company that now has gone bankrupt. And these are precious taxpayer dollars. They need to be spent wisely, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. And sometimes the only way we can get people to cooperate with the committee is to subpoena them rather than having them come in and cooperate, so that we didn't really have a choice in order to get to the bottom of it.
So what's your take on the I'm sorry, go ahead, Devin.
I was just real quick, but in light of our next guest, Congresswoman, I want to ask you about women in politics and with the election coming up. Curious if you see Republican women facing any particular challenges in running for office that perhaps Democratic women candidates don't face.
Oh, well, Republican women had a great year in 2010. We had a record number elected to the House. We have 9 new Republican women in the House. We won 3 governor races. The Republicans actually won the women's vote in 2010. And I know President Obama is very nervous about that because he did well with women in 2008. But going into 2012, his numbers do not look good among women. Women are very concerned about the health care bill that was passed a year ago and concerned about the federal government taking making decision making from themselves, women as the head of the household as it comes to making decisions related to health care. And also 2 out of 3 businesses are being started by women right now. Very exciting, but they see firsthand how the federal government is making it more difficult on them to start businesses. So there's going to be a real battle for the women's vote in 2012.
Are you uncomfortable with the way powerful women are portrayed in the media? Our next guest is going to talk to us about this issue. You know, that often so much more attention paid to the way they look, comments about hairstyles. Yes. Do you find this? I mean, you're a member of the Republican leadership here. Do you think this is a problem?
Well, there are some times when I feel like we get focused on things other than actually what the woman's bringing to the table, but I'm excited to see so many women in these positions, and at a time when most Americans view Congress as out of touch, and women are seen as being trustworthy, as being better listeners, as actually being willing to solve problems and work across the aisle to get the job done. So it's an exciting time to be a woman.
Okay, before you go, Herman Cain was up here on the Hill. How was he received, and what is your reaction to this allegations of harassment that are now
It's raising
him?
Lots of questions at a critical time in his campaign. We have a long way to go on the presidential race, and I'm anxious to get to the bottom of it, as everyone is.
Do you think he's adequately addressed these questions?
I believe he'll have to.
We'll have to. All right. Thank you very much, Congressman Rodgers. Appreciate it.
Thank you.